The nation's music station, MuchMusic.
One of the original punk bands is in the spotlight today. The band has been together for over 14 years now. When the Stranglers first got together in England, they were not faves. Most people hated them, partly because they could play their instruments and they were educated. Bad things if you're going to be punk musicians, though they did put out albums that were just incredibly classic and remain classic albums today. The career of the band has certainly been a roller coaster ride. They've gone up, they've gone down, they've done drugs, they've stopped, they got old. And as a matter of fact, they actually started old. That was another negative against the band. They were too old to play punk music. But they're very intelligent, they're university graduates, and because of that, their music continues to get more and more in-depth and more intellectual. Though the last few years, the band seems to be having a bit of trouble to come up with new and creative ideas. Their second to last album was pretty much a greatest hits package with a couple of covers thrown in, and their latest album also were sort of okay albums with a couple of covers thrown in. So perhaps the Stranglers are on the downslide, but they have done some great things, and we'll show them all to you in the spotlight right after this.
Legacy, you know, it's something that we don't deny, and we're proud of what we've stood up for, the things that we've stuck to in the past. It's probably made commercial suicide, commercial madness in the past, but in the long run, it's given us a certain integrity, which everybody else who works in the field of the music recognises, which is good. I mean, we're recognised as having integrity by our peers, which is very important.
Now, Hugh, you served time in the prisons for heroin possession. How did that affect you?
It's not such a big sensation experience. You just see, there are some people that actually love being put in prison, and they're so frightened by the reality of the world that they see that they will do anything. They'll go out and smash a window or break or steal something just so they can get back inside the lovely security.
Right.
So it's almost like womb-like experience. So there's a certain monastic quality to it as well, which is quite comforting. So it's not all a bad experience.
And so he's been spasmodic. I mean, he's been in spasms as well. He's better now, but he couldn't make this tour. And occasionally we've had rat scabies from the dam filling in. But on this North American visit, it's a very old friend of mine from Japan, Keith, who, very Japanese name, and we've known each other for 15 years. So there's Dave Greenfield on keyboards as ever, and myself, Jean-Jacques.
Okay. Now, there were the solo projects, I guess, just as you guys were, I guess, leaving Sony, probably, or leaving Epic. There were the solo projects that came out that got a lot of interest here in Canada.
Really?
Yeah, because, I mean, we're just Stranglers fans extraordinaire here.
Well, yeah, you've got a great reputation for being erudite and civilized.
How did things change from one label to the next? Now, why leaving the major label and going to a smaller label?
Well, it was all change. I mean, after Hugh split, we thought we might as well change and go against the grain, because an awful lot of bands start off as indies and then go join majors. And for about 10 years, our contract was kind of an indie contract. It was a licensing contract. We did the tapes, we gave the tapes to Sony. But we wanted to go the full hog, you know, and try it. I mean, you know, it's worth a try.
Right. Now, the new album, which is quite exciting. It's great. Just got to listen to it yesterday.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Here it is. And I will take
this is what they call a PLUG.
The PLUG, yes. All right. There it is, the brand new one, and the new video is called Heaven or Hell.
It probably is, yeah.
It probably is, it is. Trust me on this one, okay?
You're a doctor,
the album is
trust you.
called In the Night.
Yeah.
How long did this take to do, and where'd you do it?
It took us 2 years, because it was a kind of, it was just at the time when Paul joined the band, so we were fiddling about with it for quite a while, trying to find a new voice, our voice, new lineup. And meantime, we were playing a lot of it in pubs in England because we wanted to start again. I mean, basically, that's what we were doing. So we were playing pubs, and that, and just also we wanted to see if we were a real band, you know, just not just people strung together. So that worked out, and then we started playing the halls again throughout Europe. And we even played Estonia, which was great, in front of about 100,000 people. And then 2 days later, we played 150 people in an Irish club in Northampton. You know, so that's good.
How did it feel starting all over again, though? I mean,
well, it motivates you.
because I've always looked at the Stranglers not so much as a band, but more as a musical organization.
Yeah,
for
we
some
have
obvious
been that. I mean, it's still a family thing. I mean, Paul knows most of the material better than us.
As a fan,
Yeah.
pretty much so. How is it to join a band that you're a fan of and a friend of? I mean,
It's very exciting.
is it?
Well, yeah.
More so on the old material or the new?
Everything, really. I mean, just keep the band going, you know, it's very important to me. So. Great band. Long live the Stranglers are dead, all that.
Is there a best of Stranglers out by on Epic?
Yeah,
Sony?
on Epic, yes, and there have been about, I think there have been 3 or 4 greatest hits. I was going to say something really good. Greatest hits. 3 or 4 compilations over the years.
Now, on this new project, there are at least three tracks that aren't on the European one. This is the American version. There's
That's
Coffee
right,
Shop,
yeah.
Fisher Circles, and So and Cool. Those are tracks. So
Yeah.
get this version. Is this out in Canada now?
It's just out this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have tour dates. Let's see those tour dates. Can we get them on a monitor someplace so we can see them? Sure, they're saying. You can put them right under me. I'm looking over there. Stranglers right there. June 11th in Toronto.
I can't see them anywhere.
I can see them. June 11th in Toronto at the Spectrum. June 12th in Kitchener at the Volcano Club. 14th in Montreal at Backstreet. Be there in Montreal. All the people who, of course, had the hockey fracas will be there. July 2nd in
called
Vancouver at the Town
revelers.
Pub.
Revelers, yeah.
Yes,
They're
as long
called-
as you call them revelers.
In England, we call them hooligans. Yeah.
It was a bit silly. Now, quick Canadian trip for you. You're going to come back and spend a little bit more time in the Highlands and the Lowlands.
We'd love to, yeah. There's actually talk of us returning as early as October or November
Okay.
to enjoy the coming
Yeah,
of winter.
come for the fall. No, not for the winter. Come
Oh,
for
is
the
it? Okay.
come for the fall and the winter. Bring your heavy coat. We're going to take it back in time. One of the tracks off of the Feline album,
Okay.
European Female.
Well,
Anything
you know your job really well. I'm really
I'm a
impressed.
fan, man. I'm just,
impressed.
I mean, I'm a huge. I've got the 12 inches, the remixes, the whole 9 yards. Tell me about
I've
this.
been told you've got 15 inches. Sorry.
Tell me about European Female.
European Female, it was about at a time when we were still very excited about the idea of a United States of Europe. I don't know, something's gone awry since then. It's gone haywire. You know, unfortunately, we still look towards North America for sort of world leadership, and we were trying to look after our own affairs, you know, defences and everything. And it was so the European Female itself was just an amalgam of some of the better qualities of North and South in Europe, you know, Mediterranean
And the feel is just, the feel is great, very
Well,
Mediterranean.
yeah, I mean, we were trying to marry Northern European technological stuff with Southern Catholic Mediterranean type, with the acoustic guitars, you know, synthesizers with acoustic guitars.
All right. Good. Let's take it back in time with the Stranglers. Fellas, thank you very much for...